Just saying, it's a crazy time. You can't afford not to like black people. You don't like black people enough, you could become one yourself. I'm not the only black man with a bunch of mug shots.
Right.
It's them young ones that coming. Yes. That'll do what you want.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm independent. I pay my bills. Right. I pay the cost to be the boss. You the boss by yourself.
ESPN confirming to NBC it's cutting ties with its NFL commentator Shannon Sharpe. The move coming after Sharpe, of course, the Hall of Fame tight end, settled a lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault and battery.
Very grateful for that, but I just wished, of all things, like I said, hey, they did what they felt they needed to do, and I'm at peace with that. But I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday.
Oh, buckle up because the Buzz Loop is about to serve a steaming pot of tea so hot it could melt through your phone screen, and trust me, you're going to want every last drop of this one. Picture this. 1 minute you're riding high, ESPN's Golden Boy, Hall of Fame status, big money podcast deals on the horizon, every network executive blowing up your phone, and the next minute, bam, the trapdoor swings open, you're free falling into a PR nightmare, your name's trending for all the wrong reasons, and Katt freakin Williams is in the corner sipping his drink, cackling like he just saw prophecy fulfilled. Because let's get real. If there's one thing Katt Williams loves more than a microphone and a sharp punchline, it's saying, "I told you so." And this time, he's not just saying it, he's practically writing it in the sky with fireworks. The streets are talking, Hollywood insiders are whispering, and every gossip blog from here to Timbuktu is feasting on the downfall of Shannon Sharpe, a man who went from tight end legend to tabloid cautionary tale, faster than you can say OnlyFans settlement. And oh, the irony, because apparently everyone but Shannon saw this train wreck coming.
I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Katt Williams, Monique, even people in Shannon's own circle were waving red flags the size of NFL banners, warning him that messing with certain women in this industry could get real ugly real fast. And what did he do? He looked at those warnings, laughed, and sprinted headfirst into the very mess they told him to avoid. So here's the breakdown, because the Buzz Loop has receipts. And the flavor in this tea is rich. ESPN, the network that made Shannon a household media name after his NFL days, didn't just ease him out the door. No, they cut ties like he was a bad stock crashing in real time. Officially, the firing came right after he quietly settled a jaw-dropping $50 million lawsuit with an OnlyFans model named Gabriella Zuniga. But anyone with eyes can see that Disney, ESPN's overlord, was already circling the eject button. The timing? Brutal. Shannon begged them, literally begged them, to hold off on announcing it until after his brother Sterling's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but corporate doesn't care about sentimental moments. The headlines were juicier than any feel-good Hall of Fame story, and they knew it. So they let the news fly, overshadowing what should have been Sterling's career-defining day with Shannon's scandal-heavy implosion. Now here's where Katt Williams enters, not as a shocked observer, but as the self-proclaimed prophet of Shannon's downfall. Shannon's own club Shay Shay set to his face, Katt told him point blank, "Messing around with white women in Hollywood is a chess game you better know how to play, because one wrong move can have you checkmated before you even know the board's set." He didn't sugarcoat it either, using the Jonathan Majors situation as Exhibit A. Majors went from Marvel megastar to career on life support after a domestic violence case, and in Katt's eyes, Shannon was cruising down the same road at 100 miles an hour. Katt even dressed it up in his signature delivery. "White women are as great as any other women, but I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. You could be Kang the Conqueror and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends." Turns out, Katt wasn't just making a comedic point. He already knew about Shannon's involvement with Gabriella way before the lawsuit. People close to the situation say Katt clocked the setup months before the public had a clue. And you have to hand it to him. The man's been in Hollywood long enough to recognize when a story's about to go nuclear. Monique also tried to steer Shannon right, offering dating advice that could have saved him from this entire mess, but he waved it off like he had it all under control. Spoiler alert, he did not. Instead of playing it safe, Shannon went in deep, and once the lawsuit hit, he thought throwing millions at Gabriella to settle would keep the story quiet and his ESPN chair warm. Wrong. ESPN didn't even bother issuing a formal statement. They ghosted him harder than a bad Tinder date. People magazine reached out for comment and got radio silence. And let's talk about Gabriella for a second because this part is wild. Not even 24 hours after securing that settlement bag, she hopped on Instagram to announce her retirement from OnlyFans. She wrote, "Today I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support. This community has given me a life I could never have imagined." Translation: the check cleared, she's set for life, and she can now pivot to whatever new projects she wants without hustling for subscribers. The internet ate it up, clowning Shannon for essentially retiring a woman he barely knew while capping his own daughter's wedding budget at $30,000. That hypocrisy went viral, especially after leaked texts revealed he was paying Gabriella $25,000 per session. You read that right. The same guy bragging about being frugal with family money was dropping car money on Rendezvous with a woman who allegedly saw him as a walking ATM. X, formerly Twitter, was ruthless. One post said, "Needed to happen just to expose Shannon's hypocrisy." Another piled on, "So you're stingy with your daughter but generous with your side piece? Make it make sense." The dragging was relentless. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, we learned Shannon was this close to a $100 million mega deal for his entire media empire. Club Shay Shay, Nightcap with Chad Johnson, Club 520, The Bubba Dub Show, and even a new venture called Humble Baddies. The deal was so close, in fact, that Front Office Sports reported on it just 3 days before Gabriella filed her lawsuit. Fast forward, and that deal is as dead as Shannon's ESPN career. Disney's blacklist is no joke. If they cut you, that's ESPN, ABC, Hulu, and every other network in their orbit gone in a puff of smoke. And here's the killer. Shannon was poised to become a podcast mogul, cashing in on a market where personalities can print money if they play their cards right. But one reckless relationship with a 19-year-old white girl vaporized everything. And this is where Katt Williams' prophecy becomes legend, because as he's said time and time again, nobody's feeling bad for a man who had the keys to the kingdom and decided to joyride straight into a ditch. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't a setup he couldn't see coming. This was Shannon ignoring every warning from people who knew better, thinking he was untouchable. And when the hammer dropped, it didn't just take his job. It took his deals, his reputation, and his future in high-level media.
I'm going to speak to one's innocence or one's guilt about something I have absolutely positively no knowledge of whatsoever. Do I believe that Shannon Sharpe is guilty of what he has been accused of? Absolutely not. That is my personal opinion. The brother that I've come to know, I don't believe will assault or anybody.
I'm gonna call him and say, "Hey, I met your sister for the very first time."
I need you to tell him. I don't know if you said this, so I don't want to quote it because I could be wrong.
Okay.
But someone said Shannon Sharpe don't mess with black women.
Mm-hmm.
And
Before you go any further, can I say this?
please,
My grandmother told me something when I was a little boy. She said, "Boy, never chase a lie."
Now, Shannon's trying to save face, talking about being at peace with ESPN's decision. But insiders say he's scrambling behind the scenes to find a way back in. Problem is, in an industry where image is currency, his stock is radioactive right now. No one's rushing to give a prime slot to a guy whose name is tied to sexual assault allegations and a multi-million-dollar settlement. Meanwhile, Gabriella is out here planning her next brand deals. Shannon's old colleagues are sidestepping questions, and Katt Williams is somewhere, probably with a cigar, reminding anyone who'll listen that he called it from day one. And that's the real kicker, because love him or hate him, Katt doesn't lie about the game. He's been in Hollywood's trenches long enough to know the rules, and he handed Shannon the playbook for free. Shannon tossed it in the trash, and now here we are. So what do we take away from all this? In the Buzz Loop's opinion, it's a mix of ego, poor judgment, and thinking the rules don't apply to you. And in this business, that combination will eat you alive. Now, before you log off and go spill this tea in your group chat, hit that like button, smash subscribe, ring the bell, because trust me, the way 2025's drama is unfolding, you're going to need the Buzz Loop in your corner just to keep up. This isn't the last we've heard from Shannon Sharpe, but it might be the last time we see him anywhere near the level he was playing at. And if you think this was messy, wait until you hear what's bubbling under the surface, because we've got whispers about other sports figures, bigger scandals, and receipts you won't believe. But for now, sip this story, drop your thoughts in the comments, and stay locked in, because in this town, the tea never stops brewing.